In our last video, we were in the beautiful coastal town of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Of course, we walked the streets of the historic downtown. We learned about this city's amazing history. And as always, we checked out the surrounding waterfront. In this video,
we're in Valdosta, Georgia.
I believe this is now our third year of making this annual trek from Florida to Kansas and back again. So I really hope you enjoy this series of videos.
So today we're in Valdosta, Georgia. This is stop one on what we're calling Wanderlust 2025. We're excited to see it. We have never been here. Here you see City Hall. It was built in 1910 as the post office and federal courthouse. It was restored and rededicated on its 100th year birthday in 2010. This building has been home to the Valdosta Daily Times since 1980. And this is the Thomas H. Smith home, built in 1921.
For context, we're in Valdosta on a Thursday, roughly 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And when we get into the heart of the downtown, you'll see this was a very busy little town.
This is Unity Park, which opened in August of 2021. It hosts a variety of city events, including the annual Bluesberry Festival, which you'll hear about a little later.
And very quickly, for those who haven't seen our channels in the past, we come into these towns with absolutely no game plan and we do no research. So we're just walking around and taking you along on the journey.
This building is the Daniel Ashley Apartments. It opened in 1925 as the Daniel Ashley Hotel, and it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Now it offers studio and 1 and 2 bedroom apartments.
Yeah, the renovation of an old theater or an old hotel seems to be the starting point or the cornerstone for the revitalization of a downtown.
This is Max Park, named for an influential resident who did a lot for the development of downtown Valdosta.
And if, like us, you enjoy the city's street art, there will be a dedicated section toward the end of the video. We always preach to check out the alleys and even look behind the buildings, and finding that park is a good reason why.
Across the street is the Dosta Theater. It opened as a one-screen movie theater in 1941. The last movie was shown there in 1966. Then it was actually gutted and used as a warehouse, but Theater Guild Valdosta purchased it in the 1990s, and it now serves as a dinner theater and produces 6 shows per year. Unfortunately for us, the Blueberries, Blues, and Brews Fest was starting the day after we arrived, but we learned that it was the 3rd annual event.
Yep, hosting annual festivals is another way to bring back that downtown. Good job, Valdosta.
you see the historic courthouse, and we'll spend a lot more time over there a little bit later in the video. So a little history about Valdosta. It was incorporated in 1860, the year before the Civil War started, with 166 residents. Today, the population is about 151,000.
And check out the sidewalk artwork.
So some fun facts about Valdosta. The world's second Coca-Cola bottling plant began in Valdosta in 1897. You'll hear about the first location where Coca-Cola was bottled in one of our videos later in this trip.
And as promised, here we are back at the courthouse. And as you'll see, they're very much geared up for the upcoming Easter Sunday.
So this historic courthouse was really cool. It was completed in 1905 and added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. It features veterans' memorials for various wars throughout the grounds. You can do walk-in tours on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. In reading up about Valdosta, we learned that it's called the naval stores capital of the world because it supplies 80% of the world's demand for naval stores. Now, I didn't know what naval stores were. That refers to the industry that produces various chemicals collected from seed plants. They call it that because originally those were the compounds used for building and maintaining wooden sailing ships.
And here we have another cool alleyway.
Valdosta has some musical history. Besides their ties to the blues, James Pierpont, composer of Jingle Bells, lived in Valdosta where he taught music.
And if you like musical history, be sure to watch all the videos of this series once they're released, as we unwittingly came across quite a bit of history on this journey. Spoiler alert, particularly if you're into the Temptations. As we often do, at this point, we're showing you the same street from the opposite side.
This brick building here was built in 1900.
So in a strange way, our visit to Valdosta can be credited to the Weather Channel. The last few hurricanes that went by, they had somebody stationed in Valdosta, and we just thought it looked like a really cool town, so that's why we chose it. And also, one of our viewers suggested we film this area, although at the time I didn't know this was one of the towns in the area of suggestion, so we killed two birds with one stone. check out this very castle-like church across the street. It's a beautiful building.
This time capsule was buried in July of 1976 and is scheduled to be opened July 4th, 2026. The building across the street here was the W.P. Corbett Building, built in 1904. The McKee Building across the street was built in 1906 as office space, but it was renovated in 2023 and now is 12 boutique guest hotel rooms, an event space, and a coffee shop.
So while Caro checked out the art in the alley, I cheated a little bit and looked on my phone to find that there was a brewery downtown. So we're on our way to that.
The Weisenbaker Building was originally the First National Bank of Valdosta from 1895 to 1954. And speaking of banks, Valdosta is home to the first ATM machine at a different bank in 1971.
1971? Wow, that's hard to believe. I can literally remember the first time I saw somebody use an ATM. I thought they were crazy, and that was in the early 90s.
And of course, as Jeff said, he found a brewery. It was founded in 2014 and became Valdosta's first brewery.
And sadly, wasn't open during the time we were there. And as promised, here's the street art section, and then we'll return to wrap this up. All right, what'd you think of Valdosta, Georgia?
I liked it. They really did neat things in their alleyways downtown, and they had a lot of street art. I think it was cute. I'm glad we stopped here.
Yeah, I think actually one of our viewers said we need to visit this area. So here we are, whoever that is. Hopefully you're enjoying it. But what the impression I get is the downtown is mostly the original buildings. You can tell they've given these buildings a lot of love and keeping them alive, and I really appreciate that. It's such a nice thing to see these old buildings still in use.
Definitely.
And at least I didn't see a lot of brand new ones, so when you come down here, you're gonna see some history, which is fantastic. So I definitely give this one a thumbs up.
Me too.
All right, get off the couch and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.